Good morning, good afternoon, good night, everybody. Um, I'm Jordan. I will be your teacher for today, and I will teach you about a subject called, or the topic called, subject verb agreement. So let's dissect that for a bit. What is the subject, what is the verb, and what is an agreement? So, a subject is what is being talked about in your sentence. So let's say we have a sentence, um, Jordan ate cake. 'Di ba? So, kumain si Jordan ng cake. So, ayan. Jordan ate cake. What is the subject in that sentence? Or what is being talked about in that sentence? Si Jordan, 'di ba? Who ate the cake ba? Jordan. So, we know that um, Jordan is a subject in the sentence because he is the one being talked about. Most of the time, your subject will be a noun or it can be a pronoun. We learned what nouns and pronouns are in our previous lecture. So if you guys don't really remember, maybe you have notes there and you can review that. Or you can also go to the previous Facebook posts where we taught yung topics ng nouns, pronouns, and verbs. Okay? So next, what is the verb? We defined verb or we talked about verb in the previous lecture as the action in the sentence. So let's look back at the sentence kanina. Jordan eats cake. Which one is the action there? Is it Jordan? No. We already talked about how Jordan is the noun or yung subject of the sentence. So is it eats? Yes, it is eats. Why? Because it is the action. What is Jordan doing? 'Di ba? He is eating the cake. So yun. Eats or eat is the verb of that sentence and it is our action. So now we have the subject, which is a noun or pronoun. Now we have the verb, which is the action of the sentence. Ano naman yung agreement? So the agreement basically talks about how the noun and the verb have to have the same form. What form are we talking about here? They have to be either singular or plural. Some of you may know what singular or plural means already, but for those who don't, okay lang. I'll explain it for a bit. So singular from the word single, meaning one. So it talks about one thing, a singular thing, a single thing, right? So let's say I ate one apple. How many apples did I eat? One, diba? That is a single apple, right? So we know that that is singular because I only ate one apple. What if I said I ate 10 apples or 5 apples? You could consider that as plural. Why? Because what plural means, it's something that is two or more. So if it's one, it is singular. If it is two or more meaning any number higher than uh, one. So you start at two. So if you go 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way to, let's say, 100 to 1,000 or to 1,000,000, that is plural, right? So if you're talking about nouns and verbs, they have to be either both singular or both plural. Yeah, so that's the agreement. They should match. The subject and verb should agree with each other, meaning they should have the same form, which can be singular or plural. So this is the next slide I'm going to show you is the most important rule when talking about subject verb agreement. And it's a very, very basic rule. So it's the basic principle, principle meaning rule, or similar to rule. Singular subjects need singular verbs, while plural subjects need plural verbs. So if you have a singular subject in a sentence, dapat yung verb mo singular din. Tapos, pag plural naman yung subject sa sentence mo, dapat plural din yung verb mo. Gets? Okay. Let's move on muna. I hope that sinks in muna sa isip nyo and you get to understand it a little bit more as we move along. Okay? So, identifying plurals. Because when you're given a sentence or a word, baka mahirap kasing i-identify kung ano ba to, singular to or plural. So, ito yung simple rule natin. So, if ever you're taking notes, kung nagsusulat kayo ng notes nyo, write this down. So, nouns. So, what is a noun? Yung subject. Nouns add an S the letter S, huh? So nouns add an S to the singular form. Tapos, verbs remove the S from the singular form. Okay, so let's say we have, um, let's have a, let's use a word. Let's use the word, maybe there's an example here. Ayan, there's an example. Let's use the word dog. When you say dog, how many dogs are we talking about? If you're already familiar with the word dog, then you will know that dog refers to or talks about one dog, diba? Notice how there is no S at the end of the word dog. Walang S sa dulo ng salitang dog, diba? And pag walang S, we know, or ito yung rule kanina, na pag walang S, singular yung noun. But let's look naman at the verb in the sentence. Chases. So the dog chases the cat. Chases has the letter S. Pero singular pa din siya. Bakit? 'Di ba sinabi nga natin na pag noun, pag meron kang noun tas walang S, singular siya. Pero yung chases, hindi siya noun, verb siya. And the rule that is being followed is they are opposites. If a noun has an S, or if a noun doesn't have an S, it's singular. But if a verb has an S, it's also singular. Nagigets ba? Opposite lang sila, okay? So yung noun, if may S, plural. At pag ang verb walang S, plural din. We'll see that later. So, the dogs chase the cat. Kanina, dog chases. Ngayon, dogs chase. Parang nagpalit lang yung S, yung position ng S, di ba? Kanina yung S nasa chases. Ngayon yung S nasa dogs, di ba? Yung sa dulo ng sa word, ha? So, yun. Dogs, may S na siya, so naging plural. Yung chase, na wala yung S sa dulo, naging plural din. Opposite lang yun. Makikita din natin later sa mga ibang examples natin na yung rule na to. Tapos mapapractice din yun i-identify kung singular ba talaga to or plural. Okay? Let's move on now. Okay, so we have the and as joiners. Alam niyo ba yung salitang and? A-N-D? Diba? We have the word and. What does that mean ba when you talk about the word and? Let's say we have chocolate and candy, right? We have the word chocolate or the phrase chocolate and candy. What does that mean, yung and? It means we're talking about both of them together, chocolate and candy. So example, I'm gonna say, um, do you want me to give you chocolate and candy? That basically means I'm asking if you want to get both of those things. Parehas. Yung chocolate and yung candy. Chocolate tsaka yung candy. So, nag-join sila, o yung nag-join siya, yung the word na end, nag-join siya ng dalawang nouns. 'Di ba? So, if you have two singular nouns, example here, the ranger and the camper, we have ranger, walang S nga ulit, 'di ba? At pag walang S ang noun, singular siya. Yung camper, walang S din, so singular siya. We have the ranger and the camper. Those are two singular nouns na may and sa gitna. Nagiging plural na siya. Because you're taking both of them, you're joining them together, pinagsasamahan mo sila, then you refer to them or you talk about them as a plural noun. So if you see the word and in between two nouns, automatic na yung verb dapat plural din. And remember our rule, if a verb does not have an S at the end, pag walang S sa dulo ng verb, plural na siya. So yun, ranger and the camper is that's plural. Tapos yung C, verb na walang S sa dulo, plural verb na din yan. Nag-agree sila. Ayan. If the individual parts of the compound subject are joined by and, always use a plural verb. This basically talks about yung individual nouns na nasa left side ng and tsaka sa right side ng end. Regardless of what's kung singular or plural sila. So dito sa first example, ranger and the campers. Campers plural, yung ranger singular. Pero may and sa gitna. Di mo na kailangan isipin kung ano yung gagamitin ko. Yung ranger singular, yung campers plural. Kasi may and sa gitna yung gagamitin mo lagi plural verb dahil may and. Tapos sa second sentence naman, the rangers and the camper, 'di ba? Nagpalit lang yung S from the camper to the ranger. The rangers and the camper see the bear. So, yung una, yung rangers, plural. Tapos yung camper, singular. Yung gagamitin mo dito is a plural verb. So, ayun. We have that na. Next dito ang or and nor as joiners. We don't have to think about nor muna. Pwede nating i-focus muna yung attention natin sa or. Kasi mas common ang or. Mas makikita mo yung or sa mga sentences. So dito, the ranger or the camper sees the bear. Pag or naman, ano sa tingin niyo yung mangyayari sa sentence? So example, yung example natin kanina na chocolates and candy, gawin natin chocolates or candy. Do you want chocolate or candy? Pag sinabi ko yon, binibigay kita ng choice. Isa lang yung pipiliin mo. Yung chocolate or yung candy. Di ba? Kanina and. Sinabi ko, do you want chocolate and candy? So, kukunin mo yung chocolate tsaka yung candy. Ngayon, pag or ang sinabi ko, isa lang dun yung pipiliin mo. Yung chocolate or yung candy, di ba? So, mas important dito, pag gusto mong malaman kung singular ba dapat yung verb ko or plural, mas important dito yung mas malapit sa verb. So, tingnan natin yung sentence ha. Yung unang example, yung may X. The ranger or the camper sees the bear. Alin dito yung mas malapit? Yung ranger yung camper? Mas malapit sa verb ha? Diba yung camper yung mas malapit? So, we can consider yung camper yung pinag-uusapan sa sentence. Hindi na yung ranger. Kaya, yung verb na gagamitin is a singular verb. Gets ba? Because camper is singular and it's the one that is closer to the verb, yun lang yung um, titingnan natin kung plural ba or singular yung verb na gagamitin. So here we have the camper that's singular and sees. Again, the rule is pag may S ang verb, singular siya. Pag walang S ang noun, singular siya. Okay? Ayan, next. So ito yung mas mahirap. Oh, sorry, wait lang. Okay. So here we see the ranger or the camper sees the bear, right? So these joiners work differently from and. While the word and seems to add things together, or and nor do not. So the example here would be like yung chocolate and candy or yung chocolate or candy. Pag sinabi kong, do you want chocolate and candy? Parehas yung kukunin mo, di ba? Kasi and yung ginamit. Pero pag sinabi ko, do you want chocolate or candy? Isa lang yung pwede mong, yung pipiliin mo. Hindi pwedeng parehas. So, yung chocolate lang or yung candy lang. So, pag or, isa lang yung kinoconsider. Isa lang yung kukunin mo. So, dito sa example, the ranger or the camper sees the bear. Diba? The ranger or the camper sees the bear. Alin dito yung pipiliin natin? Yung rule, pag or ang ginamit, pipiliin mo yung mas malapit sa verb. So, yung noun na mas malapit sa verb. So, alin dito yung noun na mas malapit sa verb? Ano ba yung verb dito? 'Di ba sees? Tapos ano yung dalawang noun dito? Yung ranger tsaka yung camper. Ano yung mas malapit sa verb? Yung ranger yung camper? 'Di ba yung camper? So, yun yung pipiliin mo para tingnan kung nag-agree ba yung mga verb at saka yung noun. So, yun. So, move on tayo sa next one. If the individual parts of the compound subject are joined by or nor, use the verb form that will agree with the subject closer to the verb. The subject that is closer to the verb. Let's see. Here, the ranger or the campers. May S, so plural. See the bear. Yung ranger singular, yung campers plural. Ano yung fina-follow dito? Ano yung um, pipiliin mo sa ranger or campers? Yung campers, di ba? Bakit? Mas malapit yung campers sa verb mo. At ano yung verb mo dito? Yung see. Second sentence naman, rangers or the camper sees the bear. Yung mas malapit dito yung camper. At plural ba yung camper? Hindi. Bakit hindi plural? Kasi walang S yung noun. So yung verb mo, dapat singular. Kasi yung camper mo, singular din. Okay? Next naman, yung the rangers, the explorers, or the camper. Madami na to. The rangers, the explorers, or the camper. Kahit na nagdagdag sila ng isang extra noun, yung explorers, ano yung pinakamalapit sa ano yung noun na pinakamalapit sa verb? Yung camper pa din. Di nagbago yung order eh. So yung camper. At yung camper, singular. Kaya singular din ang verb na gagamitin mo. Okay? Next, group nouns. So we learned that group nouns are nouns that refer to a a lot of things, but it refers to them as a whole or as a single group. So example, a class of students, right? Plural yung students, pero yung class mismo, singular. Okay? Or a team. Madaming member ang team, but yung team na noun mismo, singular siya. You count it as one. So, again, if you guys want to remember or review kung ano yung group nouns, pwede niyong tingnan yung unang lecture namin sa Facebook, yung nouns na video. So, panoorin niyo lang yan para ma-refresh kayo yung idea ng group nouns. Or pwede niyo din atang um, panoorin yung live namin nung sa Saturday, last Saturday. Yan. So, referring to the group as a whole, consider the non-singular. So, therefore, we use a singular verb. Okay. So, the club is a whole noun, or sorry, a group noun. We consider that as a whole, meaning singular siya. So, yung verb na ginamit dito, singular din. Diba? So, the club is meeting today. Let's look at another another example. The class learns fast, right? The class, group noun siya. So, we consider that as singular. Tapos, learns, yung word na learn, or learns, since may S siya, singular verb siya. So, singular noun, singular verb. Always matching them, and that means it has a subject-verb agreement. Ayan. So, this rule, I would like to skip muna because it's not really that seen that often. Sinasabi lang dito na some group nouns could be talked about using plural verbs because you're talking about yung members ng group noun na yan. So, example, we use the word class. But in the sentence, you're talking about the students. Since you're talking about the students with an S, plural, gagamitin mo ng plural verb. This rule isn't really that common, and I would like you guys to understand muna yung rule bago ito. So, let's skip this muna. Yeah, so, when used in the plural form, group nouns mean more than one group. So, sinasabi lang nito na some group nouns can also have a plural form, di ba? So, we have club. Let's say the word club, right? Club talks about like a group of people, right? So, madaming tao yun. But what if you have more than one club? You have book club, you have singing club, you have dance club. Madaming clubs na yan. Sinabi ko na, clubs. So, a singular group noun, if you add an S at the end, pwede din siyang maging plural verb or plural noun. So, yung singular na group noun, pwede din maging plural na group noun. Paano gawin yan? Lagay mo lang lagay ka lang ng S sa dulo. So dito, dapat mag-agree ulit sila. Kanina yung club, singular. Ngayon, clubs na may S, plural na siya. So yung verb na gagamitin mo, plural na din para mag-subject-verb agreement ulit siya. Okay? Go. Next. So summary lang to. If you guys are confused about some stuff or want to remember ulit kung ano yung pinag-aralan natin kanina lang sa video, ito. Punta lang kayo sa summary ng group nouns. Okay. Okay, so next, plural form, singular meaning nouns. Some nouns often look like they are in plural form but are actually singular in meaning. So the examples are news, measles, mumps, mathematics, politics, athletics. I would like to talk about this very quickly lang because it's a bit difficult or pero medyo mahirap i-identify kung ang isang word ay hindi talaga singular or hindi talaga plural. Pero ito yung mga examples na na hindi mo masyado makikita. Yung isa dito na gusto kong um, i-focus on or ituro sa inyo yung word na news. Yung news na balita ha, parang TV Patrol News. Yung news kasi, singular pa din siya. Pero may S sa dulo. Eh, di ba hindi yun nagfo-follow yung rule na sinabi natin sa start ng video na pag noun at may S, plural na siya. Sometimes kasi yung sa English na language, may mga may mga pasaway. Hindi nila sinusundan yung mga rules. Katulad ng mga words na ganito. News, measles, mumps, mathematics, politics, tsaka athletics. So, if ever may nakita kayong word na may S sa dulo pero yung verb niya is singular, most likely, pasaway lang yung word na yan. Di ba? So, I would like you muna to only memorize yung word na news because yun yung pinaka common or yung makikita mo lagi pag sa araw-araw na pag-usapan niyo or sa araw-araw mismo. So, yan. Example sana. The news says. So, di ba sabi na nga natin na news is a singular noun. Kaya yung verb niya, singular din. Yung verb niya may S to make it singular. Hindi siya the news say. So, yun. Medyo weird lang. Pero, ganun talaga ang English sometimes. Medyo weird talaga ang English. So, let's move on. So, same idea lang nito na not all nouns that end with ICS or S that seem to have a singular meaning actually have a singular meaning. So, yung scissors or pants, parang singular siya, pero plural talaga siya. Yung pants mo, when you talk about scissors, plural yung verb na gagamitan mo. When you talk about pants, plural ang verb na gagamitan mo. Medyo weird din ulit to. Exception to sa rule. Hindi laging ganito. But, you have to see it like that lang. Na pag scissors, pag pants, statistics or studies, memorize niyo na lang yung mga words na ganito. At rare case talaga to. So, not all of the, not, it won't happen all of the time. But in this case, it will. With the words, specific words, scissors and pants, and statistics and studies. Okay? So, sometimes we want to talk about individual parts of the whole. In these cases, we have to use the rules for group nouns. So, yung actually, I would like to skip this then because this is a very rare case. You guys won't really see this that much since medyo bago pa kayo sa English. So, I like to skip it muna for now. Okay, indefinite pronouns. So again, we had the uh, Facebook video on the topic of indefinite pronouns. It was the one after nouns. So if you guys want a refresher or review on what indefinite pronouns are, so don't be afraid to go back and check those videos out. And basically, indefinite pronouns are pronouns that have indefinite meaning. So you're not really sure what it's talking about. So, because anybody, let's say the second example, yung anybody, it can talk about anybody. It can be you or me or yung parents mo or yung teacher mo. It can be anybody. So, we're not sure who they're talking about, but they want to talk about somebody. So it's anybody, right? So there are three types of rules for indefinite pronouns. For this one, this list of indefinite pronouns, so either, neither, other, anybody, anyone, anything, somebody, someone, all of these indefinite pronouns, lagi silang singular. No matter what, lagi silang singular. So if ever you see these words in a sentence, hanapin niyo yung verb at i-confirm niyo kung singular din yung verb. Because these guys are always singular. Yan. Each sees, everybody has, nothing seems, another is. Yun yung examples. They're always singular. Ito naman yung mas madali. These guys naman, opposite lang. Always plural sila. Hindi na sila always singular. So yung both, few, many, several, others. So mas madaling i-memorize ito dahil ayun nga, mas konti sila. So if ever gusto niyong or if ever nalilito kayo kung singular ba yung indefinite na pronoun na to or plural, memorize niyo lang to. Tapos pag wala sila sa list na to, alam niyo na singular siya, 'di ba? Parang cancellation method. Pag may example, anybody, isang word sa indefinite pronouns na laging singular. Tapos nakita mo yung word anybody sa sa isang sentence. Check mo yung list mo. Nasa list ba yung anybody? So, is anybody both? No, ibang word yun. Is anybody few? No, ibang word din yun. Go through the list at pag wala siya, alam mo na kagad na na singular siya. Pero, may isa pang list tayo. Ito naman, some, any, none, almost, pwede sila maging singular or plural. Depende lang sa paggamit sa sentence. At aaralin natin yan later. So, dalawa na yung list mo. Yung laging plural, tapos yung pwedeng maging singular o plural. Plural. Yeah. So, tingnan mo lang kung nasa list siya ng singular or plural or yung list na plural lang. At pag wala doon, alam mo na kagad na singular na siya. Kasi wala nga siya sa list na to. Diba? Ayan. Move on tayo. So, ito lang yung examples. Some of the debt has been paid. Has is a singular verb. Then dito naman, some of the debts are still missing. May hint dito. Ano yung pinag-uusapan ba dito? Yung debt, di ba? Yung debt, utang yan in Tagalog, utang. So, yung debt, wala siyang S. So, singular ba siya or plural? Noun siya na walang S. Yung unang rule natin ulit, pag walang S ang noun, singular siya. So, yung has, singular verb din siya. So, nagmamatch sila. Tapos yung sa ikalawang sentence, debts, may S. So, are yung ginamit. Plural na verb. Ayan. Ito din. Prepositional phrases. Gusto kong i-skip muna to kasi masyadong mahirap yung idea ng prepositional phrase. Mahirap i-identify yung prepositional phrase eh. Kahit ako, nahihirapan din ako dito eh. So, I would like to skip it muna. There are easier versions of this. We will go to them later. So, yung words sa beyond, about, on, to, mahaba kasi yung list ng prepositional phrases. Eh. So, ayoko munang parang ibigay sa inyo kasi masyado mahirap i-identify kaagad. Since bago-bago pa lang kayo, gusto ko na madali lang muna para di kayo mahirapan o matakot sa English. Okay? So, sige, later na to. Later na din to. Sige, ito. Ito naman, ito. So, instead of looking at yung madaming examples ng prepositional phrases kanina, gusto namin piliin muna yung tatlo na sa tingin namin kaya niyong i-identify kaagad. So, ano ba yun? Yung who, that, and which. So, pwede mong pag nakita mo yung isang sentence, tas gitna niya, may who, that, or which. Tas may parang may sentence, may tiny sentence sa loob niya. Sige, let's look at the example na lang para mas madali. So, the woman, let's look at the first example. The woman who loves cats is my relative. Okay? We see this example, right? Yung unang example. The woman who loves cats is my relative. So, nakita niyo yung who, that, or which. Yung who, di ba yung nakita niyo? Who loves cats, right? The woman who loves cats. Pwede niyong tanggalin yung part sa middle ng sentence na nagsisimula sa who, that, or which. Tas makikita niyo yung totoong meaning ng sentence. The woman who loves cats is my relative. Tas tanggalin natin yung who loves cats. The woman is my relative. That will make it easier for you guys to understand kung ano yung noun at ano yung verb na kailangan natin i-match. Medyo mahirap to kasi kailangan natin ng practice at kailangan natin ng exercises para matrain yung eyes nyo sa pag-identify ng who, that, which. So, ngayon, pag nakita nyo yung who, that, or which, try nyo hanapin yung mini sentence sa loob ng sentence. Yung tawag doon clause actually. So, yung mini sentence tawag doon clause. So, make parang mini sentence sa loob. Computers that can solve the problem are rare. Yung mini sentence doon, nagsistart siya ng who, that, or which. So, that can solve that problem. So, pag tinanggal mo yun, yung maiiwan ay computers are rare. Ayun, nakita na natin yung verb tsaka yung noun. Yung computers yung noun, yung verb yung are, di ba? So, tapos yung sa dulo. A basket which has 12 apples costs 200. Ano ulit? Who, that, or which, right? Tapos may which tayo. Nakita natin. A basket which has 12 apples. Pag nakita niyo yung who, that, or which, hanapin niyo yung mini sentence sa loob ng yung buong sentence. Ano ba yung mini sentence dito? Which has 12 apples. Medyo mahirap i-identify nga kung saan yung dulo. Yung end, madali lang kasi may sample na tayo, di ba? Who, that, or which. Pag nakita niyo yung who, that, or which, malamang may, may mini sentence na yun. Usually, um, yung dulo ng mini sentence na yun ay isang verb. Kung napansin niyo, the woman who loves cats is, di ba? The woman who loves cats is. Yung loves kasi, verb din yon. Pero, katabi niya kagad yung who. Usually may space or may isang word pa na after that na makita niyo yung second na parang verb, 'di ba? Kasi kung napansin niyo din, who loves, tapos yung second sentence, that can solve, tapos yung third sentence, which has, laging who, that, which, tapos may verb na right after. So may parang first verb, tapos may second verb. Yung second verb sa sentence, yun yung totoong verb na kailangan yung i, identify. Yun yung totoong verb na kailangan natin i-match sa noun ng sentence, sa subject ng sentence. So, ayan. So, example dito. So, nakita niyo yung example. The woman who loves cats is my relative. Tanggalin niyo lang yung who loves cats at yun na yung totoong sentence, yung totoong meaning ng sentence. The woman is my relative. Okay? So, nouns that come after verbs. So, parang yung unang example din yun na pag nakita niyo yung isang word, may rule na siya kagad. So, if you see yung who, that, or which, alam niyo na kagad, ay, yun yung rule na, yun yung may mini sentence sa loob, di ba? Dito naman, yung word na hanapin niyo or yung words na hanapin mo are there, tsaka here. Pag nakita niyo yun sa simula ng sentence, that means magpapalit yung order ng verb tsaka noun. Kung napansin niyo din, laging laging nauuna yung noun bago makita natin yung verb. Dito naman, pag there or here ang nasa simula ng sentence or nasa start ng sentence, nagpapalit na yung order. Yung verb na yung mauuna bago yung noun. 'Di ba? So, sa sentence na to, children are playing outside. 'Di ba? Kanina, or napapansin niyo na yung children, yung subject or yung noun, nauuna siya bago yung verb. Laging gano'n actually sa ano, sa English. Yun yung parang normal na form sa pagsulat ng sentence. Sa Tagalog, opposite naman siya. Nauuna yung verb sa Tagalog. 'Di ba? Kumain ako, 'di ba? Yung kumain, yun yung verb. Yun yung action. Ako, so kumain ako. Ako yung subject ng ano, ng sentence. So yun yung noun. Napapansin niyo na gano'n yung parang sentences sa Tagalog, 'di ba? Kumain ako, nagluto ako, or usually nauuna talaga yung verb sa Tagalog. Pero sa English, yung nauuna, yung noun or yung subject. So ayun. Pero 'pag may there or here, nagpapalit yung order. So yung nauuna naman, yung verb at hindi yung noun. So ayun. So sa example na 'to, every rule na naaral natin, nag-a-apply pa din siya. So, yung first rule natin na ano, yung 'pag may S ang noun, plural na siya, 'pag walang S ang verb, plural na siya. Lahat ng rules na yun na pinag-aralan natin kanina, nag-a-apply pa din. So, same rules lang even if nagpalit yung order. So, example kanina sa joiners na or, 'di ba? Hanapin mo dapat yung closest na noun sa verb. Even if nasa kanan siya ng ano, nasa kanan yung noun sa verb, hanapin mo pa din yung closest doon. Okay? So, yan. So, ito na yung last slide na ata natin. So, same rule applies even if hindi siya there or here. Pag question naman, pwede din mauna yung verb sa noun. So, ayun. End na ng slides natin. So, ayun. Sana naman may natutunan kayo sa araw na to or sa lecture na to. Pag may tanong kayo or any problems, any concerns, huwag kayong matakot, tanungin kami. Dahil gusto namin ano siyempre um, maging matalino mga bata kayo tapos, kaya niyo ng i-identify kung ano yung mga nouns and verbs sa sentences or alam niyo kung ano yung nouns and verbs. And, don't worry if hindi kayo masyadong or hindi niyo masyadong nage-gets yung topic or medyo mahirap pa din sa inyo. Siyempre practice lang 'yan, 'di ba? Lagi kong dapat magpa-practice para, 'di na kayo matatakot sa, mga English na words or English na ideas. So, ayun. So, I hope you guys learned a lot from this lecture. I hope na maging confident kayo sa pag-aral ng English kasi di naman 'to nakakatakot. Um, Lahat ng bagay kailangan natin mag-practice at mag-put ng effort para gumaling, 'di ba? So, ayan. So I hope you guys learned a lot from today. And again, I am your teacher Jordan. I hope to see you guys every weekend as long as may class tayo. And um, I hope na next time sa next topic na natin na ma kaya yung identify na kung tama ba yung subject verb agreement. So thank you so much. I hope you guys very well. Stay safe everybody and goodbye.